Hey, everybody, welcome to my Brain Dump podcast. This is a very special guest today. We have Kimberly Source from Kim is in Sweden. She has an Instagram page and she has her own YouTube channel where she does really, really fun videos about, what it is to be, an American in Sweden. And she just moved there recently, and so I've been having a lot of fun like watching her videos and sort of like keeping up with her posts and stuff. She's really fun to just sort of like follow. So we've been talking for a little bit, and I just wanted to have her on because she just seems like a great person to have on. So how are you today?
Thank you. I am so good. Thank you for having me on. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. I
Yeah.
just got back from the beach, actually. It was like 85 here today, which is the hottest that it's been all summer.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I finally feel like it's summer here. It's nice.
Yeah. So it's 85, and that's like Fahrenheit, right?
Fahrenheit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't know Celsius. It's very embarrassing.
Yeah. It seems hard to get because it's like I know it's like lower there, like
Yeah.
so it's probably
I
like 30 something or
I
something.
was gonna say, I know 90 Fahrenheit is around 40 Celsius. So it's somewhere like in the 30s, upper 30s, I think, is 85.
Oh, okay, awesome. That's cool.
Hmm. Yeah.
And what part of Sweden are you in right now?
I am in Malmo. That's I believe it's the third biggest city. So first is Stockholm, then another city called Gothenburg, and then Malmo. And it is all the way south and west. So we're right along the coast on the water, in the southwest part of Sweden, and like right across the water is Denmark. So where I was today at the
Oh,
beach, you could actually see Denmark.
oh,
Um, and when I fly in, I actually fly to Denmark instead of flying to Sweden because it's so close. It's just like a 20-minute train ride right over the bridge.
wow.
So really easy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is it like what's like the culture, like what are some of the biggest, I guess, like cultural changes that you notice coming in, and like I guess how long ago did you arrive?
Well, so my story is a bit crazy because I've been coming back and forth because the reason I'm here is because my fiance is here. He lives in Sweden. So we have been together for 5 years this summer. And I started traveling back and forth to Sweden about 4 years ago. Every couple of months, I would come to visit. So I've been coming back and forth for about 4 years, but I just got my residence permit approved in May. So I moved in May. So I've been here for almost 3 months. But I moved originally from Los Angeles to Sweden, and that was a huge change because Los Angeles is full of all different types of people.
Yeah.
And I think Americans in general are much more loud and like outgoing than, not that Swedish people are like cold and closed, but just like to strangers, I think we're a lot more outgoing than Swedish people are with strangers. So coming from Los Angeles to Sweden, I immediately noticed how much more quiet it was. And even in the cities, like walking around, the everybody uses like a lower tone of their voice.
Mhm.
And even in like the Stockholm city center, it's like quiet. I don't know how to explain it, but that was probably the biggest, most immediate thing, like cultural difference that I noticed. And it's kind of a cliche that everybody says it's hard to make Swedish friends, but it really is because everybody kind of has their own like social circle already. And I'll be honest, like I have no Swedish friends, and I've been here back and forth for like 4 years. Every Swedish person I know is like an acquaintance, but I don't actually have like friends, Swedish friends in Sweden. So I
Oh,
think compared to Los Angeles, where you meet somebody, out with your friends and you exchange Instagrams and you talk, and it's like much harder here to meet people and to be involved in a social circle. um
mhm.
Maybe if I was like working in a Swedish setting, because I really only do like my social media right now, so I work from home. it would be easier, but I think that's been a bit tough for me also to realize that it's hard to make friends in Sweden.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Yeah, because I feel like here in LA, it's like you can like meet someone in a bar and you're like, oh, you just like have like one common interest. If
Hmm.
you like vibe, you can like meet up with them and like eventually like
Yeah.
add them to your friend group or something.
And I think LA is such a unique place because most people come there on their own. You know, you move to LA
Yeah,
by yourself for a dream that you have. So everybody wants to make friends because they're on their own. So it's easier and people are more open. But here, I mean, most people, not everybody, but most people who live here have grown up here with their friends or they moved here to be with their partners. So they already have people around them that they're comfortable with, as opposed to LA where everybody's a bit lonely, honestly, and they're like looking for friends.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So I guess there it's like you sort of have to have a reason to like
Yes.
friends.
That's what everybody says. Like, join a group. If you have a group, like a hiking group or a hockey group or, whatever, that's the way to really make friends, is to join a group that you all have something in common. But I haven't done that yet.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yes, because I guess like for natives there, it's probably like they keep in contact with their friends that they've had from like high school,
Hmm.
primary school, like college and everything, and they just stay friends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I think so.
Hmm. That's cool.
Yeah. But you asked me the biggest cultural differences, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I think Sweden is also much more slower than we are in the US. Like there's not this huge like grind your ass off, excuse my language, to work and to make money. And, they have a really, really good work life balance here. And everything is much more calm. Even just the fact that they get 5 weeks paid vacation every year. Like they take
That's
their free
awesome.
time seriously, and it's like guaranteed. If you have a job where you have a working contract, you're guaranteed 5 weeks off, even if you just started. And in America, I mean, you know how it is. I think like the
Yeah,
most that I've ever heard of somebody gets off is 2 weeks. Um,
yeah. That's pretty
correct,
typical.
right? I haven't heard anybody in that I know who gets 5 weeks of paid vacation. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, and it's interesting because like even like the bigger companies, like I have some friends who work at like, like the tech companies like Google or like Facebook or like Twitter, and like they have like unlimited PTO, but like
Hmm.
they don't even feel like they can take it because like most people take only 2 weeks. They feel like if they do more, it's like they're gonna get looked at as like
Yeah,
not wanting to work,
right.
you know?
Right. So you would be feeling like scared this whole time that they're going to fire you for
Yeah,
taking more than 2 weeks. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
sad.
yeah, and even at my job, it's like 2 weeks, but it's like such a thing to like get it off. Like it's like like it's like not like you just feel weird doing it. Like
Yeah.
you know why? It's just like the culture, I guess.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like ingrained in us that we have to like work harder than the next guy, or somebody's going to like take our job, or our
Mhm.
boss is going to think we're lazy, or yeah. And
Yeah.
they have this whole fika culture here where you go out and you have coffee, not in a to-go cup, in a real mug, and you get like a brownie or something, and you like sit down and you talk. And they even have this like during your job, somebody that one of my Swedish followers was messaging me one day and was telling me like, I take 3 fika breaks at work every day, like everybody does.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I think most places in the US, like if we were like, okay, I'm just gonna go take a 15-minute break and sit and drink a coffee and like don't bother me with all of my other coworkers, our bosses would be like,
Yeah, like it's like
what do you think you're doing?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's a much more chill, like slower life here in Sweden than in most places in the US. I'm judging from Los Angeles, where I came
Yeah.
from. I can't speak for all of the US because it's a huge country, as you know.
Yeah.
And I think like those southern states in general are much slower than New Jersey, where I'm from, and Los Angeles, where I lived. So maybe those states it's a bit more chill, but from those places where I've lived, it was a bit of a culture shock, definitely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then how did you, because you, I think because I was listening to your podcast and I thought you had said like you met your fiance like there or here or in the US, or how did you guys meet and like how did you, I guess, get together and like make that move?
Yeah, he is okay. So I had gone to film school in New York in 2009, and I had a girl in my class who happens to be his sister. So she came from Sweden to film school, and then we wound up becoming really good friends. And during that first year of school, he came to visit her in New York for like a month. So we actually met in 2009, but it was nothing like romantic or anything. Or it was 2010, actually. Sorry. Yeah, 2010 we met, but it was nothing romantic. And obviously, I was like, he lives in Sweden. How would this ever work? Plus, I was 19 and I was so shy. Like I could never talk to a boy. Even at 19, I was super shy. So we became like Facebook friends and stuff, and we chatted for a few years. And then his sister and I wound up moving to Los Angeles together, and we lived together for 3 years. And then she moved back to Sweden, and I came to visit her in Sweden once. But again, we were just friends. And then I came to visit her in Sweden again in 2017, and we did a road trip from Sweden down to Greece. And then last minute, her brother, who's now my fiance, joined us on the road trip. So it was like a summer road trip through Europe. And then during that road trip, we realized that we liked each other, and then we fell in love. And then at the end of the summer, I went back to Los Angeles. So we did a long distance relationship for a year. And then at the end of that year was when I decided I was going to move to Sweden. But moving to Sweden was not as easy as I had thought. So I
Mhm.
moved from Los Angeles to New Jersey, and then went back and forth to Sweden to visit every couple months from then until I eventually just got my residence permit in May. So it's been
Oh,
quite a process.
nice, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a
When
process.
Yeah. And when I originally said, like, I'm going to move to Sweden, I didn't know about all of this resident permit and everything. So I came to Sweden and thought that I would just be able to stay in Sweden. And then I found out about everything, how long it takes and how much you have to go through and everything. So that was a bit of a wake up call and a shock to
Yeah.
realize that. But I'm glad that yeah, I went through it and now I know how it works. And I get a ton of questions from people like, do you have any advice? What should I
Oh yeah.
bring? Blah, blah, blah. So I'm actually thinking of making like an ebook where it has all of the details, how to get your residence permit, what you should bring, what to expect, everything. So then I can just tell people to like reference this ebook because I get so many questions from people. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna try to work on making that because there's actually not that much info online. When I started this,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, I tried to watch like YouTube videos and articles, but there's really not that much. I found like one YouTube video about it and like a few articles, but they're all so old. So I feel
Mm.
like I can make like an updated version that can help people.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be really cool because I think they don't make it, or they, I guess they're just so they don't like obviously like focus on like individual countries or like having people move. I don't know, but
Yeah. They
yeah.
do have a pretty good website. Sweden has a pretty good website to like
Mhm.
guide you through. But I mean, when you're going through it, you have all these questions pop up in your head that they don't answer on the website. And you want to hear like other people's experience, what they went through, and what to expect at the interview and everything like that, that the website doesn't cover. So I think hearing from somebody who actually like went through it would be helpful to a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's so many like YouTubers now who are like expats and they move to, like Europe and they have like, so much like info about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like nice to like just get really involved in like looking at that. Like just like
Yeah.
as an American, because like I feel like before YouTube and like podcasts, it's like that just that information just wasn't like available. Because I feel like it's almost like I feel like most people get the idea of moving to Europe through, I mean, because you like met someone. I feel like a lot of people are
Hmm.
just like watching videos and they're just like, how do I do it? And they like Google
Yeah.
and they just like get like the whole idea started from just like watching like someone's video on it.
Yeah. And I think for Americans, we think that a lot like, oh, we can just go and teach English in whatever
Yeah.
country. I actually went through that when I was like 22. I wanted to go to like Thailand and teach English. So I was also like Googling. That was when I think YouTube was like just getting started. But yeah, I obviously didn't wind up doing that. But I think a lot of Americans still have that idea
Yeah,
to like just
definitely.
go and teach English somewhere.
Yeah.
But
Is that like possible to do in Sweden, or is it mostly just like they already have people there that are like teaching people English?
you know, I think it would be a little more difficult than to go to like a country like Thailand, for example, because so many people here speak English. But I did see a few job listings on like Indeed recently that they're looking for English teachers.
Yeah.
And I think preferably they would like to have people who speak English as a first language, I would assume, as
Yeah, I was
opposed to
looking
like
for
having
like that.
Swedish people teach English. So it would be a possibility. I'm not sure what credentials you have to have, but they start teaching kids, I think, when they're like 8 years old here. So they definitely need teachers at some point, I'm sure.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Something
Yeah.
to think about, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Have you been to Europe?
I haven't. I really want to go. Um,
Yeah.
I have not been to Europe, and it's like sad because like a lot of my friends have like been to Europe, and like they
Yeah.
like tell me about it, and I'm like almost like obsessed with like going now because I'm just like I just like hear about it all the time. So I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
You should. Where is Sweden is on your list of places, or where is your like place that you really want to go?
yeah, that's a good question. I want to. There's a lot of places I want to see. Um, I think like the UK would be cool. Sweden would be really cool because I actually have a friend. Actually, I went to community college and I studied theater, and I actually like
Mm-hmm.
met this girl. She was sort of like an international student from like Gothenburg,
Mm-hmm.
and we're pretty good friends. Like she's pretty good friends with like some of my friends here. So like she like they've like visited her there and like they her name's like Alice and like um it'd be cool to see to I guess like see her and just go. And then I have
Yeah.
this other friend Alex who's actually his name's Alex Liu and he's like a Swedish like rapper and like
Nice.
yeah he's like really cool. He does like really good music and we just started talking like on Instagram like last year
Nice.
and we'll just like talk about like music and stuff because I'm like a music producer too so like we'll just like talk.
Awesome.
But yeah, so it would be cool to go there. I really want to go to Norway too because of like the nature. Like I hear it's like really beautiful.
I hear that also, and I see on Instagram and stuff. It looks
Yeah, it
amazing.
looks crazy. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
And then,
S-
oh god,
No, I was gonna say, so have you heard your friends like Swedish rap?
yeah,
Isn't that like Swedish rap? You know, when I first heard it, I was like, this is
yeah,
so cool just to hear rap in another language.
yeah. Because I'm used to hearing just like rap music from here. I've heard like
Yeah.
UK like drill music before, and I've heard just like rap music here from like Atlanta and stuff. But
Uh-huh.
like or like different cities. Because I feel like in the US it's like rap music is like about like the city. Like there's so much like influence from like the different parts of like the
Mm,
yeah, they have like some really good music there. And like
they
they I know
do.
like Sweden also has like a really good like music production like history and like they have a lot of like good like producers and like
Yeah, they've
that
put
are like
out like a lot of good music. They put out
yeah,
ABBA. They put
yeah.
out I mean Avicii was Swedish.
Yeah, Avicii. And then like Max Martin, who like did all those like pop songs in like the early 2000s
Okay.
for like the Backstreet Boys and like Britney Spears and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you look him up, he did like all this music that was like really popular in America,
Oh, cool.
early, like 2000s. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to check him out.
Yeah, it's cool. It's just cool to see how much their production like has like almost gone like international a certain and
Yeah, they have a lot of like companies also. I'm pretty sure Skype is Swedish.
oh really? Okay.
I mean they have IKEA,
Oh yeah, of course.
H&M, Spotify. Like they have created a lot of huge companies that we use all over the world, but I think a lot of people don't realize that they're Swedish.
Mhm.
And a lot of people like barely even think of Sweden, you know?
Yeah.
Like they don't know where it is or the language is or anything, but they have actually like really helped influence the world.
Yeah, that's interesting because I remember I just started to think of it like a few years ago. Like it never really crossed my like lexicon like before like 2015. It just wasn't like I just didn't think of it, you know? I
Yeah.
don't know why. It just wasn't
Yeah.
in my brain or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so cool. It's really fascinating. Like all of
Yeah.
it is pretty fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I also really want to go to France too, and I really want to go to Italy as well.
Oh, Italy is like on my list. I cannot wait to go to Italy. I Yeah, I did a DNA test that I think you saw
Yeah,
the video. So I'm mostly Italian, which I knew that because my dad's side is like Italian.
yeah.
But I mean, I want to go to Italy and like eat their food, see their beaches, and like try to find some family. I think that would be so cool.
Yeah, like either like ancestry or something.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
they'll probably be like, okay, you American person, like calm down.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because I have the because like my dad's like Italian too.
Hmm.
Like I'm looking into like getting like the dual citizenship from that because you
Oh yeah.
yeah, so you have to like find like there's like firms that will like help you that are like sort of like they're in Italy and they have like someone in the US that will like help you do it. It's
Yeah.
like pretty expensive though, but like I think you can get like a family package or something.
Okay.
They do it for like everyone in your family, but it has to be like through your descent, and then they like prove it with like the birth certificates and like the immigration like papers or whatever.
So cool. I have a friend who actually did that. I grew up with her and
Oh
she
wow.
got hers approved maybe like 3 years ago or so.
Yeah.
But she's not using it. I mean, right now, maybe one day she will because she lives in New York right now. But she comes to France, Europe like pretty often. She was just in France. So I didn't even think about it. She can probably use like the
The
Italian passport while she's here and just like stay for how long she wants.
Yeah,
That's
I think that's like a really cool benefit of it because
yeah.
it's like cool because you don't have to like do anything really. Like you just sort of like
Mhm.
get it and you don't have like really responsibilities with it. Like,
Yeah. Once
like
you have it, you have it.
yeah,
That is so cool.
yeah.
You should definitely do it. Why not?
Yeah, I'm definitely like gonna I think I'm gonna do it soon. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, you never know what's going to happen in the US also. Maybe you just
I
want to
know, right?
get
Like
out.
the climate here, like the political situation, there's like fires
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah. I watched the American
Yeah.
news here. I saw
Oh,
like fire, floods. I was like, oh my
what's
God. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's a huge country, so there's a bigger chance of like a lot happening.
Oh yeah.
But man, it's not looking good right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like the last like few years have just been it's just been increasingly like weirder.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah, it's just like
I
so weird.
swear.
Yeah. And it was like, oh, this is happening now? Okay. Like
Every day it's like something new.
yeah.
I was talking to an older gentleman the other day who was American. He was like, the US just isn't what it was when I was growing up. It's like it's a totally different country now. And I think it is
Yeah.
even like within the past 5 years, like since I moved out, I feel like it's changed so much, at least what I see like on the news. I would truly be scared to like send my child to school in the US right now with
Yeah,
all like the
it's
school
so yeah, the
shootings and
school
stuff.
shootings.
Yeah.
I feel like there's almost like such like uh, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like there's almost like it's like in politics and stuff. There's almost like this like celebrity culture that like took like that like leaked its way into like the political sphere with like Trump,
Yeah,
and, like Kanye, and like all these people that are like,
so true.
yeah, it's just so weird. It's like what's even like real anymore?
Yeah, it's like there's zero like respect in politics now. It's all treated like you said, like they're just celebrities like on a reality show or something.
Yeah, it's
Like
like
how they yeah, how they talk to each other, how the news portrays everything. It's like, yeah.
yeah, but
But that's a whole nother podcast
yeah, yeah,
topic.
it's a whole other podcast. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, do you have any, I guess, like what are some of the other changes? I know like the transportation there is like really good, and then
Yes.
how is like the food? Because I was curious about that.
The food is
I don't know
good.
about it.
Swedish food has like a sauce to everything. So they don't eat like anything dry. So like if you order meat, for example, a steak or something, you'll always get a sauce with the steak, like a béarnaise sauce or hollandaise sauce or like a creamy some kind of garlic sauce. Like everything has a sauce. Sweden is obsessed with sauces. So now that I've like gotten used to it, I can't eat like anything
Dry.
without a sauce. Yeah, nothing dry. Even their pizza comes with a sauce on top of the pizza. So you'll get like whatever a so Sweden is also known for their weird pizzas. So they have the strangest toppings on pizzas, but it works. So the
Mhm.
weirdest one that I've tried was a pizza with curry powder like mixed into the sauce. So I got like a curry sauce, cheese, bananas, chicken,
Banana.
peanuts, and béarnaise sauce on top of it. And that was a pizza.
Yeah.
So I was expecting to like hate it, but it was actually really good. But if you're like craving pizza, it definitely doesn't hit the spot as a
It's
pizza.
more like
It's
a
definitely like
meal.
something totally different.
Yeah.
Um, but I would say they just put like really strange combinations together, but it works. There's another dish called Flygande Jakob, which means flying Jacob, and it's heavy cream whipped, and then you add bananas, chicken, again, pineapple, and bacon, and you bake it, and then it gets like hot and creamy, and then you serve
Yeah.
it over rice. So it's like a very strange combination with bananas and bacon and peanuts, and but it works, you know.
Hmm. Like trial
But
and error, like they made it work.
yeah. um, but it's good. The food is really like fresh for the most part. Like their breakfast includes a lot of vegetables and like cheese and as opposed to the American breakfast that's like heavy, you know, bacon and eggs and waffles and pancakes, you know, theirs is like much more light, I would say.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, they have much better desserts than we have in America. Their desserts are
Okay. Interesting.
love their desserts. I think because they have such a big fika culture, you know, they have to have so many like sweet treats that they can have during their fika. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my theory. But
Yeah.
really,
It's
really good
important.
desserts. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really good. It's like,
Yeah.
don't they also do like tacos?
They have tacos that are, I mean, you're used to probably LA tacos as I was. So you would be severely disappointed by their tacos here. They put like cucumbers in the taco and like it's a very fresh taco as opposed to like greasy with a lot of cheese and stuff. You know,
Yeah.
they'll fill it with like taco meat, cucumbers, shredded cheese, corn, tomatoes, and they don't have sour cream here. They use gräddfil, it's called. It's like cream, but it's not sour. You know how sour cream has that like tart taste?
Hmm.
This one is more just like thick cream, I would say.
Yeah.
So their Mexican food is not good. I'll say it. Their Mexican food needs an improvement. And
Okay. So sorry, Zoom cut us off, but we were talking about the
the
talk.
horrible Mexican food in Sweden.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they do like other foods really well though. But
Yes,
yeah.
yes. I think, it's so far from Mexico here. I mean,
Yeah,
Mexico and
definitely.
Sweden is so there's not a lot of Mexican influence here. And obviously, if you don't have the people, then the food is not gonna be that authentic or be that close to how it actually is in that country.
Mhm.
And because we have such a huge Mexican influence in Los Angeles, I think I was just so used to the real tasty tacos.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like yeah, the tacos here are like the best I've
Oh,
had
yeah,
in San
they are
Diego,
so
right?
good.
Here they're like really good.
So good. And there's so many taco trucks to choose from and so many like authentic restaurants to go to.
Yeah, and they're like really cheap too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mhm.
Have you tried pupusas?
Yeah, I have. They're pretty good.
So good. I've never found one anywhere other than when I was in LA.
Yeah, I feel like they're in a even here like they're not as they're sort of more hard to find than like tacos, but you
Uh-huh.
can find them. Yeah.
Yeah. The first time I tried it, I was like, so for those who don't know what a papusa is, it's like Salvadorian, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's like a stuffed taco sandwich, kind of. So it's
Mhm.
like a thick bread with like filling inside, and then they put like sour cream and tomatoes and everything on top of it. It's so good. I
Yeah.
would love to eat one right now.
Yeah. That sounds good. Do they have any, I guess, do they have any food in Sweden that is good that's like, I guess, like not Swedish or even that is Swedish? Like, what's like the dish that like they get like really well that like you haven't had good like anywhere else?
Well, the thing I think that they're most famous for is the Swedish meatballs,
Oh yeah,
that
that was
are,
IKEA, I think.
yeah, exactly. And then they serve them with mashed potatoes and lingonberry jam, and then a sauce, like usually a brown sauce on them. But they have also this thing, it's called plank steak, that they serve on like a piece of cedar wood, and you can get it with meat or fish, but it's like a piece of steak, and then they put mashed potatoes all around the outside of the plate, so it's like a square of mashed potatoes, and then your meat inside, and they bake it so the top of the mashed potatoes get like a little crispy, and
Nice.
then the meat, and then vegetables, and then a sauce as well on that, so that's really tasty. um, but there's a lot of Middle Eastern people in Sweden. So you
Mhm.
can find really good like falafel, really good kebab, really good Middle Eastern food, especially here in Malmo. There's like a huge influence, and we're like known for having the best falafel in Sweden. So if you like falafel, Malmo is the place to get it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
But
cool. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
um, there's also this dessert. It's called princess cake, princess torta, that is like a regular white vanilla cake and then some kind of jam. And then like this thick, maybe like 3 inches of whipped cream, and then a layer of fondant or marzipan over the top of it. And it's usually green. And that's like a really
Oh,
popular birthday cake. And it's
the green.
super good. Yeah. Sounds unappealing.
They just bring out this huge like green thing.
Yeah. You might be able to find that actually at IKEA in the US.
Oh,
I
okay.
think they do have them. They're like lime green cakes, and
Nice.
they're really,
Like
really
neon
tasty.
or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like neon green.
Princess cake.
Yeah. Much better, I think, than like the American, buttercream frosting that we have on cakes. Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah,
And
I would as a kid I would always like not eat the frosting. I just like eat
yeah,
like inside.
exactly. I mean, it's literally like butter and sugar that you're eating. It's something about that. No. I
Yeah.
could do without it. I think they have much better cakes here in Sweden, I must say.
Nice.
And it was so surprising for me. I thought it was so normal to have these like pre-mixed Betty Crocker cake mixes. You know how we have them that you just add like
Confused.
oil and eggs and you made a cake.
Hmm.
But here they have maybe like two, they have maybe like a vanilla and a chocolate one. But other than that, everybody makes cake from scratch. Like everybody bakes from scratch. And I was like, where are all of
Oh
the
my
cake
God.
mixes?
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, no, nobody uses those
No.
cake mixes. Yeah, you have to actually bake. I was like, oh no.
Mm. Is it like that for like a lot of different foods? Like, do they still have like microwave? Is that like less popular? Like, people mostly just cook like everything. Like,
Yeah, I think most people cook like the fast food culture is not as common. They definitely still have like the frozen dinners that you can get and like just heat up in the microwave, but like restaurants for the most part don't deliver. We have like a lot of
oh,
restaurants, they'll just deliver for free in the US if you don't feel
yeah.
like going and picking it up. Um, so they definitely don't have that. If you want something delivered, you have to order through a third party like Uber Eats or something.
Mhm.
Um, and then when I was here in 2012, I was with my friend in the town that she had moved to, and it was a pretty small town. And it was a Sunday night, and it was like 7 o'clock, and we wanted to go out to eat. And we're driving around, and we realized like every restaurant was closed, even like the McDonald's was closed because it was like Sunday at 7. I was
You have
like,
to make your own food.
yeah, that was such a shock for me. I was like, so what do people do? And she's like, you just have to cook. I was like,
You're just like,
whoa. Yeah. I feel so American. Yeah, so I
yeah.
think more people definitely cook at home than we do. Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw your video about like this. I think you had a video, or like I saw it from somewhere. It was like the system blog, it like the alcohol place.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. Systembolaget.
Yeah.
It's the government-owned liquor store. There's only that liquor store. Like individual people can't own a liquor store. It's all that specific one owned by the government.
Mhm.
So there's one in every city. In Malmo, there's more than one, but like if you're in a small town, there will be one. And it is open Monday through Friday from, I want to say like 11 in the morning, 10 or 11, and then it closes at 7 in the evening. On Saturday, they close at 3, and on Sunday, they're completely closed. And they don't have anything refrigerated. So everything you buy is room temperature, even like the beer, champagne, white wine, like nothing is refrigerated. And
Okay.
they have an amazing selection of wine, really, truly tons of wines from all over, tons of beers. And you
Mhm.
can buy the beers individually, like you don't have to buy 6 packs and stuff. So you can get like one of
Yeah.
this kind, one of that kind. But you really have to like stock up or like plan when you want to drink, because you can't just go, on your way home at 8 o'clock on a Friday and think like, oh, I'm gonna grab some beers because like it's closed. You truly,
Like
truly have to
unfortunately.
like stock up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a really big shock. And Swedish people, they're so used to it. So whenever I complain about it, they're like, "You have a drinking problem. You don't know how to. Why do you need to drink on a Sunday? You're gonna work on Monday." I'm like, I'm just shocked. I like didn't grow up with this at all. It's totally different. But yeah, they
Because
think
here you
I'm an
can just go to
alcoholic.
like anywhere. Like you could just walk down the street to like CVS or like 7
Yeah.
and just be like, "All right." And it's like open at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's so, so different. Like, I know we have some towns in the US, like dry towns, they're
Yeah.
called, so they won't have it, but you can just drive to the next town and get what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's like also the American mindset that we are so used to having everything available like whenever we need
Yeah.
it. So, Swedish people or people in other countries in general are used to like, okay, it's closed, we'll wait until it's open. Whereas we are like, what do you mean it's closed?
Yeah, really freak out.
I need
We're
it now.
entitled to products all the
Exactly.
time.
Yeah. And they don't have these stores like Walmart and Target and those kind of stores here. So if you need like a bunch of different things, you have to go to like a bunch of different stores, which is something that it's such a small detail, but just that in general also is like different for me. Like they have I think they're going to open Costco in
Oh,
Stockholm,
interesting.
the first
Uh,
one. Yeah. So I don't know how people feel about that because I know a lot of Swedish people think like Sweden is getting too Americanized. So
mm,
that'll be interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, nothing like Walmart or Target or anything like that here.
yeah. Is like IKEA the same there? Or is it like
It
different?
is.
Okay.
Yeah. IKEA is basically the same, like a huge building that you walk through with a bunch of different like setups. And yeah, it's basically the same.
Okay. I was just wondering.
Yeah. It would be funny if they had like American food at IKEA, but they don't. They still
That'd
have
be funny.
Swedish food
Yeah.
at Swedish IKEA.
Yeah, because IKEA like is different, like the way you like move through the store than like here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because our other stores like that too, or is that just like an IKEA thing?
That's really just an IKEA thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
They
And
don't like
still
force
like
you to walk. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And the directions still don't come with like any words. It's all just pictures.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. My fiance and I got a dresser from IKEA that had 75 steps.
Dang.
This dresser took 7 hours to build.
Mhm.
We were like, this is the last thing we're ever buying from IKEA. And by the way, they don't say IKEA. The correct way to say it is IKEA.
Wow.
Yeah.
That changes everything.
Yeah.
That's crazy
I
to
I
hear.
think the biggest IKEA in the US, isn't it in Los Angeles in Burbank?
Yeah. I think so. I go to that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to that one.
They were still building it when I was living there, but is it
Oh,
like
it's
huge?
not. Yeah, it's like huge. I didn't
How
know that
long
was
does
the
it
biggest
take?
one. It's pretty big. It
Yeah.
takes like an
How
hour,
wow.
yeah,
Wow.
to like look at everything. Yeah, it takes like an hour. Like you can like run through and like not look at anything in like 15 minutes if you just walk through really fast and you get to the end. But it's like it's really big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard the inventor of IKEA, the Swedish man, he
Mm.
still like drives his original car from the 70s. He lives in like a regular size house. He's like a billionaire, but he like doesn't flaunt it at all. And I think that's like a very Swedish mentality because they have here this saying, it's called lagom, which is
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah, it's like everything in balance. So they don't like show off, even if you're have a lot of money here,
Yeah.
you don't like show off. And you don't, I mean, you can live in like a big house, but nothing like these huge mansions that we have in like Beverly Hills, for example. I've never
Yeah.
seen anything like that in Sweden. Maybe I'm hanging out with the wrong people, but I haven't seen anything that big. And yeah, like I said, Swedish people just don't flash their money like most
Yeah.
wealthy Americans do.
Yeah, that's crazy because I feel like on Rodeo,
Mm,
like it's like that to like the extreme. Like everyone has like their logos and like their Gucci,
yeah.
like everything. It's like such a thing, like their cars. It's like such a thing. Like
Yeah. They're just like dying to be seen.
exactly, yeah. But that seems like really refreshing.
Yeah. You would see if you come here, like even the style that people dress is generally the same. Like very neutral colors, a lot of like just jeans and like a t-shirt. Like people don't really stand out intentionally. If people are really like dressed up, it's usually like foreign people, not like Swedish people, because the
Yeah,
Swedish really kind of grow up with this mentality to like not stand out, don't like bring a lot of attention to yourself, don't like uh, you know, like yell when you're talking, like in public, it's very reserved and just
Yeah.
like dressed to fit in with society. So that was also quite different with coming from Los Angeles.
Yeah. That seems like sort of nice though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's a lovely country. Like, if there's one word to describe it, it's truly like lovely. Like, everything works very well. Society is very smooth. People are very nice. Like, it's truly a lovely country. But like, even now when I was at the beach with my fiance, there was like people around us, and it was so quiet. And I told him, like, this country is so quiet. Sometimes you just want to
Um,
have like a bit of liveliness around you.
yeah, like stuff going on. Yeah. I feel
Yeah.
like people here are like so like outgoing and like loud. Like people like to like celebrate things. Like I'm sure they do here,
Mhm.
but like people like to like I feel like when I think of like Americans like celebrating, I think of like someone like drifting their car and like shooting like fireworks out of it. Like I feel like that's like what we like to do to like have
Yeah.
a good time.
Yeah.
It's like different.
Well, I will say, what they
Yeah.
celebrate really different is
Mhm.
high school graduation.
Oh, okay.
It's it's really, really cool. So the class that graduates together, they all like run out of the high school at the same time. So there's no like ceremony like we have in the US. It's all like a party the whole day. So it starts out with everybody in the class in the morning. Actually, they go and have breakfast together and like usually start drinking champagne and stuff because you graduate when you're 19, but the drinking age here is 18.
Yeah.
So they like are already a little tipsy, and then they get to the school and all of the parents and the friends are standing outside waiting, and then the school is playing like music, and then the class runs out and like dances, and everybody wears white, and then they wear these like sailor hats with their names on it,
Oh, okay.
and then you like take pictures with your family and stuff, and then your class rents a truck, but like an 18 wheeler type of truck,
Party trick.
a party truck that they have decorated with like signs and stuff. And then they go on top of the truck. So there's like a guardrail around them, but they go on top of the truck. And then the whole streets are closed off in the town. And the trucks are playing music and they just like drive up and down. And the students are dancing and drinking champagne on top of the trucks. And then the rest of the day is like whatever, party with your friends, family. And then you like go out at night. But I thought that was so unique and so
Yeah.
fun. I
Mhm.
mean, compared to like our high school graduations, I think are much more like
So more
serious and
serious, yeah.
yeah, which is the opposite because I think Sweden as a whole is much more reserved and calm, and the US is much more like party, party, loud, la la la. But for high school graduation, it's like reverse cultures. It's very interesting. And Swedish graduation, I wish that was my graduation. It looks like so much
Yeah,
fun.
sounds awesome. Sounds
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just thought of like that like LMFAO song, like Party Rockin'.
Exactly. That would be like a perfect song.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do people go out to like is like clubbing a thing there? Like people going out to like clubs and stuff like that?
Yes, more definitely like in the cities.
Yeah.
But even like here, there's like two clubs really,
Mhm.
and they're nothing like fancy. They're fancy for, I don't know, maybe like Malmo, but they're definitely nothing like Los Angeles clubs. Um, and I think it's more like people dance. Like, I was going to clubs in LA. By the end, like nobody even dances in the clubs. Everybody just goes to take selfies and to like sit around the tables and like be dressed really nice. And here I feel like people kind of dance more, if that, I don't know how to really describe it. It's definitely not like a clubbing place. Sweden is not like the club place.
I see.
um I would say more like maybe London is like the club place, but if there was an area in Sweden, I would say Stockholm is probably the most popular place to club. If you come to Malmo and you're a club goer, I think you would definitely be disappointed.
Yeah.
I've been to the two clubs, and I was actually at one not too long ago, and I was like, I'm way too old for this. I need to leave.
Okay.
It was basically a giant room with like a DJ and a tiny bar, and that was it. And then like everybody standing, bumping into you, trying to dance, and yeah,
Oh, I see. Yeah.
yeah, it was nothing amazing at all.
Oh, okay. I was just like curious.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And where I am in Malmo, this is like the biggest city in this area, and even on like weekends, if you're out at like two in the morning, everything is closed. Not like in Los Angeles where like places are,
So
still going, still open. Here it's like everything's closed. It's time to go home. It's definitely not like a party area. No.
yeah, yeah, because
Yeah.
because here I was out last night and like there's food open. So you can get
Hmm.
food. If you like look, you can get food at like 3 a.m. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And places are like just starting to get ready for after parties, and because
Yeah.
even in LA, the clubs they close at 2, right?
They close at 2 usually, I think. Yeah.
Which is so surprising for such a party city, but I think LA is more like the after party type of place than the club place.
Yeah, like most of the clubs close at 2 and like yeah, the bars close at 2, I think. But there's
Yeah,
still like you could find like not restaurants, but there'll be like food open. Like you could get like chicken or you could get um
some
like a
fast
burger.
food.
Yeah, like some fast food type thing like after that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember going to like 7-Eleven at like right as the club was closing with like friends. And
Mhm.
there was one guy, because they can't sell alcohol after 2 in the morning. One of the guys who worked at 7-Eleven would be like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, trying to like scan everybody's alcohol before they closed.
That's he's like
Yeah, he
really
was so funny.
yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know that because I've never bought alcohol like that late. Like I've never like tried to buy it that late, but I didn't now I
Yeah.
know.
As nobody should. I mean, you definitely don't need to buy alcohol at 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
But when you're young and stupid, you do these
Yeah,
things.
you'll yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna ask, like I was also curious about like the sun situation.
The sun.
Yeah, because it's like it's always out right now, right?
So where I am, it does set. I know in the north of Sweden, in the summer, it never sets. And then in the winter, it doesn't come up. So it's very extreme. But where I am right now, it sets around 9:15. But like a month ago, maybe it set at like 9:45, and then it comes up around like 3:30 or 4 in the morning.
Wow.
So it's a lot of daylight. However, in the like late fall, it's
Mhm.
going to start setting around 3:30 or 4 in the afternoon, and then it doesn't come up until about 9 in the morning. So those days get very hard. And I actually know some people buy sun lamps for the winter just so they can get like some vitamin D. Because like especially if you work a 9 to 5 job, you literally won't see the sun for like months. So
Yeah. Like
that's,
from your
yeah,
window or something.
yeah,
Yeah. I
that
feel
can
like
get very
yeah,
hard.
I feel like that would be one of the hardest things for me to get.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I haven't been here for like a full winter yet. So we shall see how
Oh,
that
okay.
goes.
Yeah.
Cause, in the summer, you forget like what it feels like to not see the sun.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like remember to enjoy the sun every time it's sunny, go outside, like really take advantage of it right now because I know it won't be here
Yeah.
soon.
And when people get their time off, their like 5 weeks off or whatever, is that like when they want it, or is that like during a certain time for like the country?
I want to say it's when they want to take
Okay.
it. Because I know like basically everybody I know takes it in the summer.
Oh,
Um, but you have to like put in for when you want to take it off so that not all the employees take off at the same time
oh
and then the
yeah.
company doesn't have anybody. So I know you have to put in like a bit in advance when you're going to take it.
Mhm.
But for the most part, everybody takes it in the summer, and everybody takes it like all together. So you can get like those 5 weeks all at
Yeah, to like
once.
travel or do whatever.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's awesome.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Well, at least you're getting like some sun because you're like in the southern part. So that's
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's like the hardest thing. That's going to be the hardest thing about like living here is the lack of sunshine, because I could deal with the cold, you know, over heat if it's cold for what, 6, 7 months,
mhm.
but not to see the sun, I think is what really like takes a toll on your mental health. And it makes you not even like want to go outside if it's just cloudy and dark. And the hardest part is like making yourself go outside on those days.
Mhm.
So we shall see how that goes.
Yeah.
But it's in Europe, so worst case scenario, you can just like fly to Spain or something for a weekend in the winter and get some sun.
Yeah, because the plane tickets are like cheap there, right? If you're like flying within Europe, it's like
They were, but now with this global crisis, they're expensive. We just went to Egypt, and I mean, not that that's in Europe, but it was like $600 for one plane ticket. And usually, I know it's a lot cheaper. And just a few years ago, I flew to Budapest for like $50, and now flights to Budapest are like $300.
wow.
So it's definitely changed. Hopefully they go down again because it's insane.
Mhm.
But I also just flew to Stockholm a few weeks ago, and from Malmo to Stockholm, it's about a 1 hour flight, and the ticket was $5.
That's amazing.
Insane. Insane. And you
Oh,
got like a carry-on bag. So if you wanted to pay for an extra bag, it was going to be like $45 or something, which is still really cheap. But just to take a carry-on bag, it was $5. And I thought, like, that's amazing.
yeah, because I feel like even here, like if I want to go to San Francisco, it's like 200 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like so much different than here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like LA to Vegas is maybe the cheapest flight from LA.
Okay.
I what I remember. But it's like Spirit Airlines, so you never know how they are.
Oh yeah, I always hear like comedians just like rip them to shreds, but I've never.
Mm. It's not bad. It's really not bad.
Oh,
I've
it's
flown
not.
it. It's like a budget airline, so there's no TV. They don't give you any drinks. The seats are like smaller, but it's
Uh,
it's not. It's
like the
it's
plane won't
fine.
like tip over.
Hopefully not.
Mhm.
You're only up there for 45 minutes, so.
Yeah, yeah.
How long is the
I'll try.
flight from LA to San Francisco?
It's probably like 2 hours.
Okay,
Yeah, I
because
remember it being like
it's
2 hours. Like maybe
what,
it's
like,
maybe less, like an hour and 30 or something. My
because it's like a
memory
six,
is like not
7 hour drive or something, right?
really accurate, but yeah, it's like a 6 hour drive,
Okay.
6 or 7. I actually made that drive and it was like really hard. Like I was like really tired.
Were you by yourself?
Yeah, like I just drove. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm off. I'm gonna go to my mom's house. To my mom lives in the Bay Area, and it was like 6 hours. And I
Yeah,
was,
that's tough.
it was like so hot. Like it was like my like thermometer on the car was like almost like 100 the whole time. It's like so hot here, and you're just driving. It's like intense. Like
Yeah.
I did it.
When
I did
good,
it.
good.
I don't know if I'm gonna do it again anytime soon. But
At least take like a travel buddy so you have somebody to like
yeah,
distract you for that time.
yeah.
Yeah, because road trips are fun if you're like with somebody, but by yourself, I can imagine it gets like hard to focus.
Yeah, I was like, I've already listened to like all these songs. Like I've listened to like all these podcasts. It's like I almost like ran out of like my content that I usually listen to, and I was like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm for it.
Yeah. You got to get like a book on tape or something.
Yeah, like I'd like call people just to like talk to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mhm.
I did when I moved to LA, I drove with my mom. We made it in 5 days from New Jersey to California.
That's pretty
But
good.
that was like, before iPhones, or maybe the first iPhone had just come out, but it was 2010. So or 2011. I don't remember. It was one of those years. But we had like books on tape that we had like rented from the library and like, actual maps, not like GPS maps and stuff. But yeah, we made it pretty fast. That was a good road trip.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. I'm like the worst with directions. I'd be so bad in like the era before the GPS and
GPS.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we're so used to GPS now. We take so much for granted.
Yeah. I always thought it was crazy how like taxi drivers used to just have to like know like what they were doing. Like you just be like, all right, take me here, and they'd be like, okay. Like
Yeah.
imagine doing that with like no phone. Like if someone was like, okay, I'm going here, and you're just like, what?
Yeah.
Like
Or like when you would call somebody and say like, okay, we'll meet at 5 p.m. on Tuesday. And then that was it. Like you were
yeah,
expected to meet there. No texting in between, no text when you got there, nothing. Yeah.
yeah. I'm sure like stand-ups happened.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Yeah,
much easier to do back then.
that's mean though, because you can't like check with them. It's like they're just going to like the other person's probably going to show up, and then they're just
Yeah. Oh, so many broken hearts.
yeah. Like my friend's dad was saying like he would, and my friend was telling me like his dad like it's like you would have to just like hang out. Like if you wanted to see someone and you didn't have their information, you'd like find out like where they like would be at what time, and you'd sort of like go to that place and like wait for them to like
Yeah.
talk to them.
Nowadays, people would be like, I think they're stalking
Yeah,
me.
I
Yeah,
thought that
such a
was really
different
cool.
time. Yeah.
All right, well, I think it's like almost time to like wrap up.
Okay.
It was like really great talking, and I learned a lot about like your journey in like Sweden and like versus like the US stuff and like our different experiences. Is there like anything else that you wanted to say or anything that you wanted to plug or like any new things that you're sort of working on right now or
I'm definitely working on that ebook. So if anybody who wants to move to Sweden wants like a step-by-step guide, that should be available within the upcoming weeks. And I'll definitely post about it on my Instagram. I also have a TikTok account that I don't think you mentioned in the beginning, but for
oh
anybody who's on TikTok, my name there is Kimberly Source. And yeah, I'm just continuing to do TikTok videos, YouTube videos. So for anybody who's interested about what it is like to live in Sweden as an American, definitely check out those channels. And thank you so much for having me on. It was really nice talking to you.
yeah, it was really fun. I'm really glad we got to do this
Me
despite like
too.
the time difference and everything. So thank
Yeah, it's early by you, right?
yeah, it's like 8:35 when we started. It was like 7, like 7.
Wow. Props to you, really.
Yeah, thanks. Because I knew I like had to do that, like, or it would be like morning for like either for one of us, it would be like really early. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's a big time difference. I remember when I was doing long distance with my fiance in Sweden, it was like I was going to bed, he was going to school. I was going to work, he was going to bed. It was like always, it was
yeah,
hard. Yeah. But thank you so much for waking up early to do this.
yeah, of course, it was great. And so thank you guys. Thanks to everyone for listening. We had a really good time doing this. And please let me know what you think about this. If you're watching on YouTube, I'd love like comments and stuff. So, and you can follow, what's your YouTube channel? Kim
My
is,
YouTube channel is Kimberly Source.
oh, Kimberly Source. Okay, yeah. And you can check her out I'll leave a link for that. And
Thanks.
thank you guys so much for watching. We had a really good time. And thank you for coming to Brain Dump.
Thank you.